Hi again. We are doing the Healing Workbook, Tips and Guided Exercises to Help Overcome Trauma. This is by Amanda Marples. I found this one at Barnes & Noble in their bargain section area, and then their ISBN number, I guess it's called. By all means, I will not be able to go through the whole book, but I will go through sections of it, so that way if it seems like it's going to be helpful to you, then you could go ahead and pick one up. We always want to have the people who put their efforts and time and everything into these publications, that we do actually go and support them by buying their products, okay? So the first beginning of the workbook is, it tells you what the book will do for you. It gives you the introduction, what the book will do for you, and how to use the book. I don't know if you want to just read through that. Hopefully that was enough for you. Just pause it. Part 1, Trauma and Healing You. It tells you about, what is trauma. We have learned that trauma is not just an event. It is also the imprint left by the experience on mind, brain, and body. I know that I had a traumatic, I think I might have mentioned this before, but I had a traumatic experience happening at work. The straw that broke the camel's back there after about 4.5 years of being there was my manager telling me that she will protect me, and that she has been protecting me from the very beginning that I've been there. And I was kind of alarmed because I didn't know what I needed protection from. You know what I mean? I was always given compliments on my work, in the way of saying, would you like to own the department? I was given a choice of either the home department, being that the team lead, or the full-time person there who kind of makes sure that it's all getting done, or the front end, the customer experience coordinator. I was given a choice of those two departments, and I was like, well, I don't know which department needs me more, or what would be more beneficial to the company, so I'll let you decide. And they ended up taking me out of the home department and putting me up front, and it was a difficult position, because you have to what's the word I want to use? I didn't want to say deal with, because that sounds so negative. You console those who are not getting their way, as far as the customers who are not following policy. And it's, policy's policy, and sometimes, yes, we can make a exception on some cases. I usually would leave that up to my assistant managers, though, because it's like, I'm the supervisor up there, and it's like I'm not the first line of defense, well, the second line of defense, saying, it's policy, and we can make exceptions when it's truly like an issue, but in most cases it's usually because the customer didn't bring their receipt, or they have repeated issues that come up, or things like that. And so my job up there was to train our associates who are up there, and I tried to give them, using my psychology background, tips on how to deal with people who might not be so nice. And then I also was able to train them using my education minor in the way that they do learn things, and hands-on or verbal, or things like that. So it was a gosh, why can't I think of the words? It was just a really great experience for me, and I felt helpful, and I felt like I was giving back, and so it was a great experience. Anyway, I'm sorry I digressed, but we are talking about types of trauma here, and there's simple trauma, complex trauma, and the big T trauma, and then the little t trauma. So the next section is the results of trauma. The only way out is through it. In my case, I took a leave of absence from my job because I didn't understand what I needed protection from. There was mention of underhanded tactics being used there, as far as like spell work or stuff like that. My counterpart my counterpart did say that she did do spell work, and in my mind I'm thinking I didn't even know that was a real thing that existed, but she told me that when she did do it, it worked when she did it, but it worked on the wrong person. And it's like, really? So it's like, if you, on a side note, if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. But it's like, don't ever take anyone's free will away. That's not okay. You know what I mean? It's like, allow people to be who they are, how they want to be. We're talking about trauma here. And so with that being said, when I found out that there was spell work being done in that building, I was just like, is that what I needed protection from? You know, you just don't know. And so it kind of freaked me out, and it kind of made me, it made me not realize who I could trust in that entire building. It's like people would come up and hug me, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even know if I can trust you, because I don't know if you're a part of the spell work. You know, I don't know if they have done spell work on you in order for you to be who you are and what you're going to decide to do. So it's like, I just had to take a pause and step back from that job role and just figure things out. It's been very traumatic. Just to have her say that, you know, I've been protecting you the entire time, and I will protect you. It's just, it really messes with your mind, you know. And it does come out in physical ways too. So I don't know. And when you talk about it, people kind of look at you side eye, like, are you serious? And it's like, yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious. If you don't know about it, great. But yeah. Anyway, okay, so trauma affects the body. Oh, I just said that. Trauma affects the body as well as the mind. You're reading this book because you're living with these effects on a daily basis. But what exactly are the symptoms of trauma? And do you need to have them all to be justified in saying, am I traumatized? The simple answer is no. While there are symptoms that are commonly reported, it is important to remember that we are all different. Your reactions and symptoms will be unique to you. The time they take to manifest can also vary. They can arise immediately following the traumatizing event or years later. So you want to notice yourself becoming aware of difficult feelings and behaviors, and it's an important step away from avoidance. You don't want to avoid your trauma. You don't want to try to cope with trauma in a way that's going to make matters worse for you, i.e. all the resources that are in the back of the book regarding like Narcotics Anonymous, AA. I didn't see anything about gambling in here, but I know that can be a trauma response thing. Overeating, of course, can be one. Shopping too much can be a trauma response. I know people who are hoarders, sometimes that's a trauma response, because it's like when you don't have the feeling of safety. When you don't have the feeling of safety or control in your life, that comes out in a trauma response, and it will manifest itself in other ways. So you can be shopping too much, being very impulsive. It can look like ADHD, being impulsive, and you could have a combination of trauma and ADHD, which triggers you to overshop. That was my thing. I just figured, oh yeah, that's cute, I need to have it. Oh, that's cute, let me just try that. Or that's cute, you know, oh, I could use that for something. And then it's just like, now you end up with stuff you don't really need and you're not going to be able to use every day. And that's not okay. And that's not going to help you get ahead in life either. Again, the people who hoard things, that's a trauma response in most cases. They didn't have, they didn't have safety in their situation. Something hit them from left field, and you're just like, what the heck? And now they're just trying to control what they can't control. And maybe they grew up with lack, and this is their way of defending themselves in that. So knowing that they'll always have something, and they'll just, they hold on to it. So these are all ways of trauma that can affect our lives, and it's important that we really take a look at those things. And while we're having these trauma responses to things, that we question ourselves, is that something I really do need, or is that just a trauma response, right? So imperative that we do that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. We can go through all the symptoms and behaviors and stuff on the next video. Thanks for being here, and take care.